want to make sure that you have all these easements and you're looking at all those and making sure that your property is your property. And do you have an easement with somebody else? The property that we just closed on in Tennessee, there's two different easements. And then also you're going to want to get like proof of like how much land is involved into the deal, right? So obviously we're going to be able to go to Regrid to get that, which is free, Regrid or Crexy, whichever one you want to do. If you want to do Crexy, let me know and I'll introduce you to Grant so you can get the Stacy discount. Regrid is free. Okay, Crexy is way better, but you can get some stuff out of Regrid. Now, you want to get the proof of like the property report card and how much land is on that piece of property and how many lots. I'm going to tell you half of the facilities I bought are on 2 lots or 3 lots, or there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. And there's like maybe I've had one that took us 6 months. There was title issues on the lot because the lots were not in the correct name. When we went to go look up the lots, it was not in the right name. So we had to go back and figure all that out. So you want to be looking at the land, the size of the land, and who the ownership of the land is. How many lots does it take for this storage facility to be a storage facility? And is the storage facility like encompassing on any of the lots around it? And if so, how does that work out? So for instance, one of the facilities that we're buying right now, like one building was kind of sticking out into the church right next to it. And so we had to go to the church and we had to figure all that out, figure the land out, the lot out, and make sure that we redrew the survey and the lines and stuff like that. But this is something that's going to happen during due diligence, during your closing period, right? Trying to figure all that out. So looking at your land and your lots and the title, right? Who's on title? Is it the correct name and stuff like this? Okay, so that's the land portion. And then also on top of that, you want to have a survey of the property. Now, a lot of times we could just get the survey from the owner, but if you don't have a survey, then you need to get one. And I saw a question about, the survey in the phase 1. Surveys could take, up to a month to get done. So like, if you're sure you're going to be buying this thing, then you need to work on getting a survey done. I have not gotten a survey on all my properties. Like, when it's defined super clear or whatever, then like we don't get a survey. But if we need to get a survey, we'll get a survey. It costs a couple $1,000s and takes a couple weeks. Right now, during COVID, it was taking forever, but now it's back to normal. So it's going to take, cost a couple $1,000 and take a couple weeks. Okay. So you want to get your survey done, and then you want to know about any easements. Easements. This is another thing. Okay. A lot of storage facilities have easements. Maybe like the building is behind all the other buildings that are on the main road, and then you just have like this long road shooting to the back to get your facility. Or something like this, or you have an easement. Like we have a student that bought a facility and there's an easement going through the owner in front of him that owns a car wash, right? And so you want to make sure that you have all these easements and you're looking at all those and making sure that your property is your property. And do you have an easement with somebody else? The property that we just closed on in Tennessee, there's 2 different easements. One easement is to the owner because the owner has their house on the property and they have like an easement that kind of goes through it to get to. They can also come the back way to get into it, but they can come through the property, the storage facility to get to it. And then another easement is the utility easement. So there's a utility, there's like electrical lines that kind of catty corner right on like a little corner space of it. And so there's an easement on the survey for that, right? So easements can be utility easements. They could be from other properties, from a company, whatever it is. So you really want to understand how many easements there are and if there are any at all. Okay, so you'll get that from the survey. Okay, and I saw somebody asked about the phase 1. Okay, so now we're getting into who we need to be talking to. All right. Okay, so if you're buying a mismanaged facility, right, you're not going to be talking to a lender. Like a severely mismanaged facility is not going to fund this, right? If it's not producing what it should be producing, or you're paying more than what it's for, what it's worth, then most likely you're not going to have a lender. All right. Lenders really come in with income producing properties, especially right now. Lenders are being ultra conservative about what they're doing. So lender really kind of falls under, sorry, so I'm talking about bank. Let me just change this to bank. We just do traditional lender, banks. Okay, so we don't get confused. Bank lender. Okay, so a bank lender is really most of the time going to fall under income producing properties. Every once in a while, you'll find a bank lender that's a local bank lender that will be open to lending to your little tiny facility in your little area because they need the business. And you can prove to them and show them that, yeah, it sucks now, but I'm going to raise rents and it's going to be worth a lot of money in the next 2 years. And so, like, I have students doing this all the time. They go to a local lender and they'll convince the local lender to give them the money because the local lender wants that business so much, right? So every once in a while, you'll get a bank lender under mismanaged facilities. But most of the time, you're going to get like a private lender, right? Or you're going to pay cash, or you're going to get some sort of creative deal structure, right? So owner financed or whatever. Okay. And then in income producing properties, you could do these two. You could do all this. You could also do here, but typically you're doing bank lending. Okay. The bank lender is the one that's going to require a phase one, maybe. Okay. We just closed on a facility. It was an SBA projected based loan, and they did not require a phase one. All right. But some lenders may require a phase one. You want to make sure that you give yourself plenty of time to get this done. This also takes several weeks up to a month because, all these companies that do phase ones are totally booked out. Right. And so, so give yourself plenty of time for the phase one. Give yourself plenty of time for a survey if you need to get a survey done. All right. And also they're going to require an appraisal. Right, so you want to give yourself time to get the appraisal done as well too, because that also takes a couple of weeks. Now you may be able to do all this simultaneously, but maybe not. So that is why it's so important if you're going to get bank financing, that you're giving yourself a long closing date to close. This typically won't happen all within the due diligence period a lot of the times, but it will happen within the closing period. Hey everybody, this is Stacy here. Thank you so much for watching this video. I am here to teach you how to get your foot into this industry. You're watching this video because you want to learn how to get started in self-storage investing, or maybe you own facilities and you want to be a better manager, a better owner. That is what I do, is I teach people how to do that. So please like this video and also subscribe, hit the subscribe button, because that's what YouTube wants. So in order for me to get out the word on how to get started in this industry, I really need your help. Again, I appreciate you listening to me, and I'm here to help you on this journey, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.